Hey guys, hope you're all well. Right, back on the GS. As you can see, we've got the seat at last. Yes. It was just bad timing with this. I caught them where they was completely refurbishing their workshop. So yeah, they're quite an high-end place. They're doing some very, very expensive classic cars normally. That's their main line of work, E-type Jags and things like that. So I guess, you know, that's kind of customer. The workshop's got to be proper presentable. So excuse the pun, but I took the back seat. Their workshop was priority. Anyway, yesterday morning, I put this on the bike for the first time, and something wasn't quite right in my mind. Nothing to do with the quality of the seat. They've done a beautiful job, as they always do. You know, they're not the cheapest people, but you know you're going to get something nice when you collect your work back. So, like I say, it wasn't the seat, just it had changed the whole bike. I just wasn't happy with it. So yesterday, I sat here staring at it for quite a long time, couldn't quite figure it out. So I took the whole thing to bits, broke all the back end off and started it all again. I literally put hours and hours and hours and hours of work into this yesterday, changing things, putting it on, taking it off, putting it on, taking it off until I was happy. I've literally, it's hard to explain, I've literally done this with everything till I've sort of bashed it into a shape I wanted it. I've even lowered the whole bike. I put all the front end back on it, and it sat on the floor. And I don't know, it just weren't standing. It weren't standing right. So yeah, it all come apart yesterday. I say I've even lowered the back end, the whole back end, by 50 mil, which meant I had to take all the shock mounts off. That was the only way of doing it. So the shock's now at a greater angle, which some people would probably say was better. And to be quite truthful, it is. But it had to be done to get it how I wanted it. So I lost count how many times this back end come off and went back on yesterday. The tank's actually been raised slightly. The angles have been changed slightly. Things have been lowered. I just went through the lot. I do apologise, I didn't film anything. I just got tucked into it because, as you're probably aware, filming stuff does increase the time of the job, and I just wanted to put the blinkers on and get on with this thing. I had doubts, so it had to happen. I always say if you're looking at what you've done and you've got little doubts, then it's not right. You've got to have it right in your own mind. I know you won't please everybody with, you know, the style that you choose. You'll never please everybody. It's impossible. But you know, at least please yourself with what you're building. So I always say, if you've got doubts, do it again. It's like Dan's bike. There is a few people, even private, messaging me, have you done the video for Dan's bike? I'm in the middle of all that. There's been a couple of little changes I've done on Dan's bike as well. I think I explained with the levers. There's a couple of little bits. And this is what happens with bike building. I just don't like to throw stuff together, throw it out the door. I prefer to go out the door and I'm 100% happy. This is there under a cover. Got a lot of information and stuff going into the last video of this. And also, the weather is completely and utterly against me at the moment. I want to go and spend a few hours out on that, filming it, but the weather's atrocious. So I'm sure we're going to have a nice day very soon where I can go and grab a friend to hold the camera and we'll go and have a damn good ride on it and get that last video done. Anyway, back on this. So, after hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of work, I finally got it to a stage where I was happy. I think I've said before, there's so many bikes that get let down with the seat. And for the sake of some extra work, you can get any seat fitting nice, to be honest with you. It doesn't, well, it does take a lot of work, but it's well worth it at the end. So anyway, I changed quite a lot. Like I say, the tank was on and off, the back end was on and off, the shot was off, so I could mess about with the height of the bike until I got it somewhere I was happy with. Now I'm happy with it. The only thing that I need to do now, which I was sort of, I sort of thought it may need, but it definitely does need, and that's a little side panel here, just so the seat sort of isn't ending abruptly there. So I know you've seen some of the BMWs I built, their seat sat up the tank, so the tank was lower, so I built a little panel that made the seat fit nice, basically. So that panel went under the seat from the bottom of the tank. This is the opposite way round. This is having a panel coming from the bottom of the seat into the tank. I've been messing about with cardboard cutouts. It's just to make it look better. It's purely cosmetic. And yeah, I just think it'll finish it off. It's probably not the shape it's going to end up being, but it's just giving me some ideas. I just think it'll look a lot better. So what I'm going to do, as it's only going to be made out of a light piece of material, I'll probably do some mounting points off the tank, and this will actually bolt to the tank. Yes, I could probably make it part of the tank and weld it all in, but that may make the seat tricky to fit to the bike. So for the sake of some fixings, I'm going to do some hidden ones at the back, so it just bolts up there. I just haven't figured out the exact shape of it yet, which I'll do. This is what we're going to do today. Figure this out, and we'll get the one side done. No point in filming two sides. We'll get this side done and see what we come up with. Anyway, let's get on with it. Okay. Right. This is just to basically give me some ideas to spring off. I think I'm going to make the return shape first and leave the face of it till last. So I think, as you can see, all the stitching meets there, so there's a little bit of a bulbous bit, but we can easily squish that in if we make the shape come right up there, which will give us a nicer line. There's plenty of padding in there, so we're not going to hurt anything as long as we make sure our shape's nice and smooth so it can't cut into the seat. So yeah, I think I'm going to get that shape first. Then the trickiest part of this one is shaping it into the tank, but leaving a nice even gap all the way around so it's not scraping against the tank. So although this one only comes up to there, I think I'm going to start by bringing it right up to the level of the seat. And also we don't want it sticking out at all, because that is about where the inside of your leg's going to be, so we don't want to cause a problem there either. So yeah, I'm going to start cutting some bits of material up and see what we come up with. Right, we've got a strip of, what's that, about 2mm. I don't know if you can actually see that bulbous bit there, but it doesn't take no pressure at all to lose it and give us a nice straight line. So I think we'll get that little curving because we want it following the bottom line of the seat. Then I might drop it, curve it, drop it straight in to the seam of the tank. Or just make it piece by piece, get my words out, until we've got an outside shape that we're happy with, then we'll put the face on. Nothing to do with curve. To do the curve, we'll just do it the simple way. I'll do a bit of it at a time and keep trying it against the bike. At least with the other side, I'll just obviously copy this one. I'm just going to quickly try that. Right, just about got the curve right on that, I think. I'll just shave the corner off because we want to start following the shape of the tank. You'll probably see a bit of threaded tube stuck out here. That's actually holding the shock in place at the minute. I'm just going to mark where to come off the bottom. I think I'm going to bring the top. I think I'll drop that straight down straight away. Then into this shape of the tank here. Right, I know that cardboard is round about the right angle. I'll use that as a guide. I'm just going to tack that, and then at least we can move it when we put it against the seat. We're about at the right angle. What I've got to do now is get the shape in this so it follows where we want it on the tank. So we're dropping in about there. We'll just do this a bit at a time because we want to try and get a nice even gap. So basically we'll grind a bit, try it, grind a bit, try it until it drops in there nice. Right, we got that shape pretty close. What I need to do now is cut this. I think it's going to be slightly curved as well. Be a better line than my drawing, obviously. Somewhere around there, I'll cut it. Right, the shape's nearly there. I'm just going to tweak the angles very slightly. And then I want to flatten that out a tiny bit. It's not completely flat, just needs a bit of the curve taken out. Oh, I'll just go and try that. Oh, at the very end. Right, I've actually welded that in and dressed it up a bit, so we don't want no sharp edges on this. Obviously we don't want the seat tearing against any sharp bits on this. There we go. Obviously when we make the brackets for it, we'll just give it a little bit of a gap away from the tank. That fits that. now we gotta decide what shape we're having on the face of it. Just been messing about with what I'm going to do on the face. I'm going to keep it fairly simple and do something like so. Like I say, with that, when it comes to painting time, we can probably bring something in off the tank or something from the tail unit with GS on there or something, or just leave it plain. I'll obviously decide on that when we get to that stage. So I'm going to continue with the return and then we'll cut a face out for it. Next bit, I think I'm not going to put that up into a point. I'll start it with a little bit of a curve, and to that angle, then fold it to that one. And at the very back here, we'll trim it off and just do a very small radius at the end. Basically, I'll just put that in the vise to do that curve, and then we'll put that bit in the folder. Right. I'm trying to get that as tight as possible. Yeah. Nearly fell off my vise. It's nearly got it. We'll try that again, shall we? Put that a tiny bit further. Man breaks neck falling off vise. Oh, let's try that one. A little bit more. Let's get that as well. That should do it. I'll just do this bit by bit. Oh, voice ain't deep enough again. Let's go to the end. That should do it. That is actually a tiny bit too much. Let's get the wooden mallet. Use the wooden mallet so I don't want to bruise it. Needs a bigger clout. One of them. That's getting there. Wow, I'd really overdone that. That'll do it. Right, I'm just going to shave a bit off the inside of both of them, just to bring that point together a bit more to make the radius really small. Obviously we'll create the radius with a weld. That'll do. Right, I'm going to take that together and then we're going to try it back on the bike because we've got to step this side out around the tank. done. That should do it. Obviously just got to do the mounting brackets now, which won't take a lot of doing, and obviously the other side, which will be actually easier because I'll just follow this one, but obviously mirror image of this one. So there we go. Yeah, I'll just do some lugs coming off the tank, a hidden bracket on the inside that's tapped, so it'll just get bolted up from the inside so we can't see the fixings. Then obviously painted all the same colour as the bike. Also, we'll probably do some bit of something on there, put the GS on there or something like that. We'll see how that goes. It just finishes it off a bit better. That'll do for this video then. I'm actually going to go and press on with the other one now before I call it a day. So next on this, we'll be literally pulling it apart. I've got the steering stops to do, which is a 10-minute job at the most. Yeah, and that's it. Be pulling it apart, finishing all the welds off, checking over everything, and off up the powder coaters at last. And while this is at the powder coaters, we'll be starting to tidy the engine up and the wheels and any other bits that need sorting out. Then we'll be putting it back together. It's getting very, very close, although it doesn't look like it, but we are getting very close to the end with this one as well, which I'll be so happy about. As you know, the mission is to start ticking all these bikes off the list, ready for the summer. So that'll do. Anyway, cheers for watching, guys. Take care. Thanks for watching.